It's going. I think it's going. Dang. Okay. You guys have no idea the struggles. The struggle is real. Oh, man. All right. I'm really glad to be here, guys. It's about time. I've been working. I had this idea for the build. I think you've probably heard by now. I was gonna do a build for me. Then I finished my last frame, and I was like, I still have the components. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. And it's like morphed, and it started out that I was just gonna give a lot of. I was going to give the winner a selection of basically the parts that I had laying around, which were, some of them were really good, most of them were what I used, but some of them were just like stuff that I hadn't decided to use yet, like ESCs, for instance. I had a bad selection of ESCs. So in the middle of the giveaway, I decided, you know what, I can probably find people to send me whatever the winner wants. And so I went out and after I picked the winner, Fluxy FPV, I hope I'm saying his name right, I went out and secured all the components that he had asked for in his build, and I actually have him here with me right. You know, I don't have a scene set up for the. He's going to be in here in a second, though. But we got everything, like, we got a Stingy frame, stickers applied. We have X-Hover 2206 20-something kV motors. They're dope. I use those all the time. TBS sent us some Crossfire receivers and the Unify. I got even people that were donating things that didn't know they were donating things, like this little nugget here that Tim gave me at the International Open. That's going in this build. I got 3D printed parts from Brain 3D, which I don't see any of those laying around right now. We got Rotor Riot Runcam Swifts. We got all sorts of cool things. Dude, okay, these, I just got to give a little shout out real quick to Stick It Skins, because this dude sent me so many cool skins for the Stingy frame. We got that guy. I don't remember what these are called. I think that's graffiti, some kaleidoscope effect. This thing. We got this one. This one's my favorite. I told him to send me two, just in case the winner picked this one, so that I would have one to put on a quad myself. So that I'm going to have a Stingy build. I think they called this Hazard, something like that. Anyways, it's dope. I'm going to be using those. But without further ado, we're going to dive right in. So, yeah, there are people that are currently watching. Thank you for David Kraft, all these people like shout outs. What's up, David? Man, okay, so I've got our winner in here. I'm gonna have to change some things on my live stream so that I can fix this. Basically, that whole delay was me trying to figure out how to get a Skype call into the live stream, and apparently OBS, which is the streaming software I'm using, doesn't play nice with Mac for the audio, and so I was trying to figure out how to set up the audio forever. But it's all set up. We got a little picture-in-picture so you can see my workbench, and wait, now you can see it. And over here, wait, hang on. Say hi.
What's up?
You are, and did I say your name right? Is that Fluxy FPV?
Yeah, it's Fluxy FPV.
Dang, okay, good. I didn't screw that up. So, Fluxy FPV, our lucky winner, is going to be joining us for the build today. And let's see. I guess I don't really... He's also going to kind of help me moderate the Q&A, because I want to be able to answer questions. But if I'm going to actually complete a build, then I'm going to also have to do work while we're in here. So anybody that's got questions, feel free to shoot them out. Dude, okay, so I told you, Fluxy, that I was going to be going ahead and on the with the sticker bomb situation and applying the stickers. And you go by Chris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I went all out today, and not only did I apply stickers, but I also have the... oh man, that color balance is all off. It doesn't know what to do with this green board. So I took double sticker bomb things, And wait, you can't see that because you're in Skype over here. So and I haven't transitioned either, dude. I'm.
Oh, we got top and bottom.
Yeah, I went top and bottom, and I went all out, and I like kind of mocked it up and cut out I cut out the areas where the arms are going to connect, so that there's not stickers between arms and all the plates. So, see, check this out. This one too. I cut it off. I did. You got top and bottom on all the arms. I didn't do the top plate because who's going to see the top plate? But I got all of the important pieces, top and bottomed. Dang. Oh, and I stole one of your X-Hover Urban Camo stickers, but one of them I'm going to send to you. I'll cut
Sweet.
another one out for you. Let's see here. Screws. And we are going to switch over to the desk view. Well, we can do a little picture-in-picture. Boom. While I am assembling the Stingy frame. All right, so, oh, dude. What up, Vortex? Jeff Orta is in the house. Man, I need to get up to Detroit and see you guys sometime soon. So anybody that wants to ask questions or do anything like that, feel free to just shoot. Yeah, a live Stingy. Indeed. Whoa, okay, I'm not scrolled to the bottom. Whoa, I'm scrolled way too much. David Kraft. Yeah, maybe I will. People are going to want to go and drink beer with the bot grinder. I get it. He already told me. He already said he's going to be ending his live stream early so that he can come in here. Just FYI. What up, Stingy? All right. So, I'm not going to pretend like this is a tutorial build, because anybody that has, if you want like a straight up tutorial build, there are plenty of those in terms of the X-Hover one, or I'm sorry, in terms of the Rotor Riot one. I'm just going to be kind of putting stuff together. Yes, I do need to get down under to Australia. I think we got some down under boys coming up here. Snake is going to be here in the next few weeks. Try mounting the ESCs to the arm with heat shrink. I like the idea of mounting to the arms with heat shrink, but the practice, look, I'm already screwing things up because I'm like talking and everything. Wara, what's up, man? God. Okay.
Mike R said, I'm not from Sacramento. However, I think you saw my Instagram post, and that's why you're asking. I did go out there for a little vacation and flew on the Sacramento River.
Nice. All right. Dude, I'm like the trickiest part on getting these arms right is like the first freaking arm. Once you get the first one lined up, the other ones only go one way. And I already got it backwards once. Alright. I am going to struggle to keep everything in frame. I am going to struggle. What up, Konasti? This is going to be the struggle live. So be ready for that. And I do have beer on standby because I can't do a build without sitting here and having a drink. That's going to happen for sure. So sorry for your sloppy build, Chris.
No, it's fair. It's absolutely fair.
All right. Dang. Okay, we got one arm installed.
Whew.
Yes. So some of the components that we're going to be using on this bad boy, I may or may not have swayed Chris on some components, because I think you originally were open to the idea. Oh man, I can't lose these titanium bolts. They're too pricey. All right, we'll come back to looking for that one in a minute. I may have swayed you originally. You were saying that the DYS F4 was what you used on everything. I'm like, yeah, I got all of those. But I was like, wouldn't you like to try the Betaflight F4 board?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's the thing.
Yeah, and so we got a new Betaflight F4 board in here. And the new Betaflight BL Heli 32 35 amp ESCs, which I'm stoked because the whole reason I swayed him was I wanted to hit up FPV Model and ask for a set for me too. So it was all a big ruse to get me the new Betaflight board, and it worked. So I got a couple of the Betaflight F4s and some of the new ESCs. Which one of the really cool things about the new ESCs is I have the very newest model. The original one, you had to have the telemetry wire went to like some weird place on the ESC. I don't even know where. And the newest version, the telemetry wire goes directly opposite of the signal wire. And so you don't have to do all the weird flippy floppy. And I got brand new Loctite that I gotta puncture with something. Ugh. And I'm like locked in the corner. I got lights everywhere. This is like professional. This is professional amateur hour.
Super.
I'm gonna keep doing me. What? Okay. That is still not punctured. Where's my poking tool? Yeah. Is the Betaflight F4 board that much different than the F3? Yes, on a couple of things. So for one thing, the with Betaflight 3.2 and dynamic filtering, we have a lot more processes going on, and so the F4 processor is capable of running stable with the is capable of being stable with the processes. Oh my god, that was a mess. Can you guys see that? I have like this huge pile of Loctite there, but it's okay. Yeah. Now we got Loctite for all the bolts. Yeah. So with the Betaflight F4 board, it's able to run all of those processes without getting bogged down so much. Also, with the Betaflight F4 board, there is a telemetry pad right between the signal and the ground, which you're going to see eventually in this build, so that all of those telemetry wires that we're going to be running off of these ESCs, so that you're getting real-time data on current consumption and battery voltage and RPM and all of that goodness. Whoa, don't do that. So yeah, that's one thing about the new F4 board that I'm personally excited about. Okay. Using Loctite from a puddle is not my ideal way of doing it, but it's going to have to work for today.
I like that you're Loctiting my stuff. I don't even do that to my own quads.
This is a fancy build, bro. Fancy builds. What quad do I have in the background? Wait, are you asking me or are you asking Chris? No.
Mine's a Tokyo. I need to change an ESC on it.
Oh yeah, you were doing some racing there last weekend, huh?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I didn't end up winning, but I mean, I like flipped over on the starting line on one of the races, so like from one of my 3 heats, I got 0 points. So
ouch.
It was kind of out at that point, but it was a super fast track, and we were just killing the batteries before we were even getting our 2 minutes in. I was running a 1500 milliamp hour battery, and on like my 8th lap, just screaming around the track, I was just falling out of the sky.
Dang. Wow, the chat's like blowing up. I can't even keep up. There's like Eric's talking about his new baby. I'm guessing somebody asked him why he doesn't make any more videos. Eric, Co-Nasty, retired FPV. That should be your new channel name.
He's always flying 6 inches. Might as well build like one of those Spec 1000 quads and carry the baby around now.
Damn. What's my favorite beer? My favorite beer is whatever beer I have in front of me. And so tonight, now that I finally got the live stream working and the beer and the check this out. So I don't often talk about work, but so the airline that I work for gave us koozies. Who does that? Like, airline pilots, let's get them drinking and let's put our brand on our airline pilots' drinks. That's got to be like the best idea ever, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. But no, I'm a fan of IPAs, and I'm usually go for whatever the local IPA is. Yeah, I know. It's a whole new way to ruin the hobby, parking on skyscrapers. Why don't I fly hype trains? Okay, so I do want to try the hype trains. Let me just clarify this. I have a set on a quad. It's somewhere around here. But like, my experience on the hype trains has been nightmarish. And it's not because of the motors themselves. It's like, it's just one of those builds that everything that could go wrong with it does. When I got them, it was at the International Open, and I immediately, I like spent a whole morning putting them on a quad and like swapping out motors. Went to basically maiden this quad. It was the build that I did for the Rotor Riot build video, and little secret for that is that the motors that I used in that were actually prototype X-Hover motors, and they were lower kV, and they just weren't awesome because it was a prototype. He didn't have the full production ones ready. I was like, oh, we can do it for the build video. It doesn't matter. And so swapped them out, and it was really the maiden of that build, and I had an ESC go up in flames on the maiden flight. And so then swapped out the ESC. It burned up the signal pad on the flight controller, so I had to like remap resources to like the LED output or something on the Betaflight board, and then got everything going, got a new motor, went back up, and it was like dipping to a corner. I thought it had a bad ESC. I finally got some replacement ESCs from John that were KISS 24s, but they didn't even have the bootloader flashed on them. So I think at this point with that quad, either it's got a bad hype train and that's why it's dipping to one side, or it's got a bad ESC. Either way, I'm about to swap all of the guts on it out with BL Heli 32, the Betaflight ESCs that I got here that I'm going to be using on Chris's build, and a Betaflight F4 board. So it's going to get all new guts, and hopefully I can actually try out the hype train motors. But that's the status on my hype train experience right now. All right. Dang. All them baby congratulations. Eric, your daughter's still in the show. What the hell? She ain't even in here. Oh. So I get nervous flying sketchy. Like my last video. Okay. The downtown thing, I wasn't really nervous for that. That's just I don't know. There weren't people around. It was just flying. I wasn't even getting close to those buildings, to be perfectly honest. If it hadn't have been part of an interesting day, I probably never would have released that footage. But landing on the building, that was scary, because if we screwed that up, then it was going to fall and possibly be on the ledge and be completely unretrievable. So, yes, I was a little bit worried about that one. But I don't know. You just get used to it at some point. Okay, So we're getting close to having like the main. This is what I always do when I build a quad, especially something like this that's got the interchangeable arms. I put together the whole main plate with the main plate, the arms, the bottom plate, so that it's all ready to go. And then I will probably install my standoffs and some standoffs, and then the motors. Now, when I get to the motors, I got a decision for you to make here, Chris. I have, up until now, all I've done on the underside of these is run the landing pads that come with the frame, which that is an option. But I also have this other option, which I haven't put on any of my quads yet, but I've been wanting to try something like this. It's skid plates. Andre over at Rotor Riot, when I asked him to send me the Runcam Swifts, he sent me some of these too. Let's see. And okay, so this is it. It's like a little Rotor Riot logo. You're not going to be able to see it in this light. It's kind of rough, but it's a little bumper thing that goes on the underside of the motors, and would let you kind of skid on stuff. Would you rather have and it's not 3D printed, it's ABS, it's molded. The guys at HQ are making those for Rotor Riot. Would you rather have those under the motors or just the standard gray landing pads?
Put those on there. Throw the little skid plates. Yeah.
Cool. Whichever one I didn't use, I was gonna mail to you anyways. So
Sweet.
I have several.
I can always use some more
options like that. And I got to be honest, the gray little pads that come with the Stingy, like John's working on his new quad, and he's eyeing them. He's like, man, what material is that? Because they don't rip off. Like the Lumineer ones, the ones that were in a quad box, I've tried all of those, and they always rip off, and they're kind of. It's not bad. It's just that. You know, you bottom out and then they're gone, or you do like a tap on something and then they're gone. The gray ones, I'm not saying that they never disappear, but I have a lot better luck with them sticking around.
Yeah, and whenever mine rip off, they never like fully rip off. It's always like a corner of it, and then you got to deal with trying to scrape the whole thing off of there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of curious about the whole skid plate game. I want to try, like, especially like spots that have like really smooth pavement and whatnot. I think it'll be cool to be able to just come in hot and go skidding to a stop. Or like skid and yaw spin mid skid. I don't know. I'm gonna try some stupid things. And then I just need
I'll try it too.
Magnesium pads so that I can spark like late rib.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude. So I did not say this ahead of time, but this video may end up getting split up into like 4 parts, because I'm like the slowest builder ever. And I'm going to get naked right now, too.
Oh.
I'm struggling. Okay. Yeah, I may split this up into several parts because I'm a slow builder, and if this thing's going on like 6 hours, nobody's sticking around for 6 hours. So I will let you people off the hook and keep coming back for more. Huh. Yeah, the lay drib skids were cool. I want to make sparks. When do we start tipping? Oh shit, for the stripping. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, shit, isn't there like a little there's like a little money button. I don't know what it does. But y'all can hit that money button. Dude, okay. Man. So this is one. I don't like these big head screws for motor. I'm not gonna do those because they look ugly. I've got to have some screws around here that are of the right length. Okay. Alright, this is going to be a learning process for me because I haven't ever tried to put any of these little skid plates on. That. Okay. I'm going to dip it in my Loctite puddle. Go through the eye here. I think that's enough. Dude, you guys are not going to see like half this build. That works. Alright. That's kind of cool. I dig it. Now the question is, can I get the rest of the screws?
Those are some long motor wires.
Dude, yeah, they're like all set up for doing like the all-in-one builds on like 8-inch frames.
Yeah, like, for real.
Wait, is that gonna be? No, it's not too long, dude. The motor bolts with this whole setup, they look massive, but it seems to be working. Oh wait, that one did come through, but it's not shorted out. Okay, let's see how this camera works. This is a new camera. Oh yeah, you can actually see it. So those totally came through. I'm not comfortable with that. That's too much coming through. Let's look for some shorter screws.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot. Where was that at? Roger. I like to race a lot, but I also like to freestyle. I mean, racing season's over, so I'm done with that. So pretty much just flipping around and having fun from here on out. I mean, I don't think there's anything more fun than going out with your buddies and just flying.
I couldn't agree more. Okay. So that went...
It's Steel. What's up, buddy?
Dang. Is that a Mr. Steve up in here? How'd your buildings, bro? He diving all them bitches. Okay. I gotta find a lot more of those size. Oh. Yeah, this is the problem with doing a live build is you got freaking... I'm a scatterbrain when it comes to components laying around the house. So, there's going to be a lot of... Wait a minute, where do I hide those things? I tried to get everything that I could in here ready for this. Dang. Greetings from Poland for Steel, but no love for Stingy. Oh... Yeah, Steel lost video when he parked on the building, but it wasn't. It was just a momentary video loss. He got it right back once he took off. It was just because the pillar that he was sitting on was blocking the video from coming through. Oh, the man with the van.
The man with the van. Ooh, Captain Vanover's here too. The winner.
Yeah, Vanover. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Another X-Hover guy. Vanover's already got the freaking 2307s. I hadn't even gotten a set of them yet. Maybe Daniel will show up in this live stream at some point. I mean, I don't think you need any help, Vanover, on building a winning frame. I know that you're referring to the X-Hover win frame, but I'm pointing out that you're already pretty much destroying it. Alright. One motor down. Bye, Super Dizzy D. Dude, okay, that's odd. I'm used to like doing these builds, like putting the the pads on so that the thing sits nice on the table, like really early on. This thing's all jankified because of the way I'm doing it. It's new. It's a new process. You gotta learn. The 2206, dude. The X-Hover 2206 2420s have been surprisingly durable. They have, I think they actually have the titanium shaft. I know that when I was talking to Daniel about doing them, he was saying that he was going to do that. I don't know if he really followed through on it or not. But anyway that you cut it, the motors are very, very durable. I've killed one of them in a pretty nasty crash, but for the most part, the thing that impresses me, so you take the motor, and if you crash and you hit the bell, it's gonna dent on just about any motor and run the magnets into your stators, and it's gonna lock up and be done. With these, I've got on several of my setups floating around the it's so weird trying to line this up, where I have a crash and you get the scarred concrete on the shaft, on the tip of the shaft, so you know that it's like hit upside down and like kind of skidded. A lot of times, especially with like aluminum shaft motors, it ends up unbalanced and then you get mad vibrations and it's a huge problem. With these, I haven't had that problem. They just seem to keep working until they are, smashed into a wall and seized up. They just keep going. So I've been happy so far. Long story short. All right, back to the parts bin of random bolts, because I didn't go and source out all my bolts ahead of time. 2, 3, 4. That's too big. Too big. All right. Dang.
He said tip of the shaft.
Yes, I did say tip of the shaft. Okay. I'm going to say this. The skid plates, putting motors on has always been something like, it's just tedious for lining them up. And when you add on like another thing to line up, it's just a little bit more tedious. Such a profound statement, I know. Okay. So we got one. Just solder one motor wire. Just one. I don't know.
I think if I curl my mustache,
huh?
I could be a steel. I think if I curled this thing up, I could do it. I got a little steely mustache.
That's all it takes. All you got to do is have a curly mustache, and then you're steel. Wait, isn't there like a? There's another FPV person that has a super curled up mustache. I think I remember seeing Steel like reposting his video or something at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably not as crispy, because that's a mustache that I remember.
Every time Steel says something, my son says Mr. Steel. An STL. What are you talking about, DJ Carlos? You want an STL file for what? I'm guessing you're talking about these skid plates. The skid plate is a Rotor Riot product, and it's not 3D printed. It's an injection molded thing. So there's really not an STL file for it. There's plenty of STL files out there for skid plates that you can, like motor skid things. Dang. Okay. 2 motors down. Back to the parts bin for more bolts. All right. I wish I could have like a poll in my live stream. Who here actually likes building? I'm curious. Do you like to build, Chris?
Sometimes it's fun, but most of the time I build quads for an online store sometimes, and it's just it gets tedious, especially because when I'm building a quad for someone else that's not mine, I want to like be really precise with everything and have it look really nice when they get it. So
oh yeah, I'm not doing that for you.
Yeah, no. When like if it's my stuff, I just like throw it together and it's good to go. If it fits, it sits, But
no, I kid. I don't know. I'm gonna do this just like if it was one of mine, which that is like half really nice and half just whatever I think works. But oh, man, so many things to decide between here and then. I have. So how long have you been flying Crossfire, Chris?
Like 3 weeks ever since you made that video about the QX7.
Dang. And
Yeah.
So you were able to do it without like killing your QX7. It wasn't a 5 dBi mod repeat for you.
No, I didn't even try to do that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I've been doing some testing with the Crossfire and the different antennas. I've got some of the Immortal T's. I've got some of the stock. I've got the transmitter, the tuned transmitter antenna. I think that's kind of become my go-to, is that tuned transmitter antenna, and honestly, the stock receiver antennas. Are you running the Immortal T's?
Yeah, I'm putting Immortal T's on all of them.
Yeah.
Just because it's easy. I just zip tie it to the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tightened it too much. It's not moving around easy enough. Okay. Boom. Stingy is struggling. I struggle with every freaking build. Fuzz quad. I don't know. Captain Vanover. Should there be a Captain Vanover frame? What you got to offer that's new? How? God, that sounds so judgy. I don't mean it to sound that judgy, bro. That was something that I struggled with for the Stingy frame. There wasn't anything that I wanted in a frame that wasn't out there. So I waited until I thought of something that I wanted and I just wasn't seeing, and I went for it. What is there that you want that isn't a thing? I know, 3 motors down, and we are like over an hour after. Is that right?
No, 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Well, 40 minutes, but it's like over an hour after the scheduled start. We were not on time. What motors? It's the X-Hover 2206, 24, and change kV motors. I can't ever remember what they are. That's bad, because I'm like... Alright, what are these magical features, Vanover? Come on, man. Give me something. I'm gonna still it and put it on the next Stingy frame.
You should put vortex generators on a race quad.
Dude,
to go faster.
I am going to be soft mounting the flight controller. I'm going to be doing it the same way that I always soft mount. These are from Pyroflip. I've had some other ones from Ready Made. It's the same thing. It's like little gummy standoffs. You ever use those, Chris?
Yeah. Normally I use those. So those came with my Chameleon when I built that. And I use those on that, but normally before that I would just use like a long M3 and just put it, like screw it down tight, and then I would just make my stack with O-rings.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
And then just put like a lock nut on top of it when it's all done.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I used to break so many freaking nylon standoffs. It was like, and it's such a pain when you break a nylon standoff in the field. Like trying to take everything apart, the whole stack, and get it all put back together. It was annoying. Ever since I switched to those, I don't ever break standoffs anymore, so I'm a fan. Okay. I just need to find 2 more of this size bolt. And then we're beyond motor installation. 1 more. I don't know if anybody else has this same setup, but I basically, in my toolbox, I have rando selection of all kinds of screws, like M3 bolts of varying length, and I'm just like sorting through and finding enough to do the job at hand.
I've got a couple of those things.
I've got a Betaflight F3 box full of other spares too that I could have dug into if I didn't find enough in this. All right, so last motor, and then we're going to install some of the nice soft mounting standoff things. Oh wait, I don't have a motor open yet. Struggling. A top mount racing frame. I think a top mount racing frame would be cool as hell. I don't know. I think part of the problem that you're going to run into with the top mount race frame is that most people want a lighter frame, and once you do the top mount, you're kind of elongating the center section, and it's going to add to the weight. So I think the way that you're going to want to do it is going to be like a side mount, or like Gapit does with the side mount. Yeah, this. I have 2 cats. This guy here is his name's Jumper, and I got another one hiding somewhere, Malik. They show up in my videos occasionally.
Jumper. Cool
Yeah.
name.
Well, when I got the cats with the X, and I got to name one, and she got to name one, and she decided to go with the name that like the 7-year-old girl who had lived with them from when they were born had named it, which was Jumper, and the other one's name was Cupcake, and I was like, no, hell no, we're not having a cat named Cupcake.
No.
And so I kind of sat around and tried to think of what to name the cat, and my mind kept going to Malachi, like the bad guy from Children of the Corn, And but I was like, I don't want to call him Malachi, and I like shortened it to Malik, and I like that. And it turns out that that is Arabic for king. So, boom, it's like a win-win.
Gangster.
Yeah.
What is up, Jason? It's one of the local guys that I fly with out here.
Dang.
Oh, Minnesota boys.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to see whether or not the screws are shorting out your windings, for sure. Yeah, you can see just how much is coming through. I'm going to have to go and get a paper towel to clean up my puddle of Loctite after this guy here, because I'm done with the Loctite. That worked out not horribly, the fact that I, like, squirted Loctite all over the workbench. Alright.
I mean, I think a lot of people do it like that anyways. Just squirt out a little puddle and then stick the screws in them.
Dude, that's kind of dope, the little skid plate action. Alright.
Lone Wolf, yeah, I'm from the Twin Cities.
Okay. Dang, Bot Grinder about to fire up his Q&A. I ought to just... Dang, are you still in here, Botsy? I'm about to... Alright, I gotta get a paper towel. If you're still in here, maybe we should just, like, Skype you in, and you can drink beer and do Q&A on my live chat. I'm gonna hijack your live video, and we're gonna put it on my channel. Alright. Be right back.
Flux. Duluth Grill. I've never had their homemade ketchup. No race flight. We're doing the Betaflight F4 board.
Yeah, I will say, though, Preston was like one of the few people that I talked to about doing this project, and he was totally down to send us the race flight gear. He was even talking about sending you the new prototype ESCs for that them and Schizo just released. But I'm kind of glad. I don't have any hate for raceflight. I just am not a raceflight guy. I don't know much about setting it up. It would have been a learning experience for me. I probably would have just wired everything up and then taken it to Schizo and been like, fix it.
Fuzzwad says I look like Keemstar.
What's Keemstar?
He's like a Call of Duty news guy, a video game.
Oh.
I think it's because the beard, huh? I got the pointy chin. Let's get right into the news.
Race flight or scurvy? Yeah, that's funny. I did the FPV show. They do that whole race flight or something awful. I was given race flight or United Airlines. I was like, United. But I mean, that's easy for me. I do like the whole airline thing a lot. Wait, let's not rip. Here's one thing with these little rubber standoff things. If you ever use these, just know, don't tighten them too much and always grip them from the bottom, because otherwise you will rip the rubber standoff in two. So I learned that mistake the hard way. Learned that lesson the hard way. Come on, get through. So, just kind of wind it down. Dude, I love these standoffs so much. This is
they're nice.
My simple pleasures.
I think I had some similar standoffs to those at one point in time, but they didn't have the little metal insert in it, and they were just garbage. But the ones that have the little metal insert in it,
yeah,
solid.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere. And I actually go all out and like double soft mount on this. So there is Yeah, I do these soft mount standoffs, and then also do O-rings around the flight controller, and then that shit just ain't going nowhere. It's like done. All right. No race flight, just the Crossfire. I haven't done. I did race flight for a little while on one setup, and it was nice. I just like all of the freaking features of Betaflight with the OSD. It flies great. It's always stable. I don't have to retune between every build that comes out. I do like me some Betaflight. Okay, so this is basically done. There, ready to ship. No, now I am going to go on and start prepping out the flight controller. Look at this guy. I did open it. I was going to act like it was all fresh, but I opened it to look at it. So somebody was asking earlier, yeah, I don't need OSD, but I like OSD. It's like saying you don't need high kV motors. You can fly just fine on 1806, like 2000 kVs. But is it going to be awesome? No. Okay. So I mentioned earlier the difference between the Betaflight F4 board. Let's see if I can get this to focus. There. You've got the SIG in the corner here. This thing's not like reversed like a mirror. It's so hard to deal with. It's got ground, signal, and telemetry. So that was not on the original F3 board. Plus, it's got a gold USB. Bling.
Ballin'.
Yeah. So we got our telemetry pad right there. Nice and handy. All right. I am going to tin this bad boy up and get the all the jumpers done, because if you watched my Rotor Riot build video, you would see that I totally forgot to do the jumpers until afterwards and had to like take it apart. It was a royal pain in the ass, so we're going to try to avoid that today.
OSDs for freestyle champs. You know, that's a good point there, Vanover. I think I might turn my OSD off for racing, because every time I see that low battery or battery warning, I'm like, oh, maybe I should slow down a little bit. But if I didn't see that, I probably wouldn't slow down.
The ESCs that I'm going to be using today are the new Betaflight BL Heli 32 35 amp ESCs. These guys right here. They seem pretty dope. I haven't tried them. I know that the Wraiths are kind of a go-to, but for me, I have faith in FPV model. I've had good luck with the Betaflight F3 board. I know that Boris stands behind the stuff. I don't think that he's going to put out a below par product, so I am jumping in full bore with the Betaflight ESCs. All right, let's just get this thing tinned up. And I will say that much like the F3, the ground pad is taking a ton of heat, which isn't a bad thing. You definitely need some metal in there. And yes, I use the TS1000 for freaking everything. I used to have
a pin not the same on that?
Huh?
Is the F3?
It's very similar. There's been some changes. Most notably, like I said, was the addition of the telemetry pin for each ESC. Other than that, it's very similar. You still have the ground and power pads for the ESCs on the underside, and I know a lot of people hate that, And I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite feature, but like after I did my first like build or two with it, I realized that it's really not that bad. You just have to plan ahead. So like the first thing I do, you're gonna see here, is I attend all of the motor pads for the signal, ground, telemetry, all of the positive and negative pads for the battery and everything. And then I am going to go and connect all of my ground and positive wires for the ESCs on the underside. And once that's done, I'll just mount it in the frame, and then it's fucking done for the underside, and I'll do everything else after the fact. So it doesn't faze me that much. It irritated me at first, but I've gotten used to it. So, yep. What do we got? Anybody got any good questions? Hit me with some good questions.
Vanover wants you to teach him how to freestyle.
Dude, go watch some of that kid's videos. He doesn't need anybody to teach him. You're already ripping. All right, I'll teach you how to freestyle. Get a stingy frame, put a GoPro on it, and go rip. Dang. Yeah, I think that the next big thing needs to be like sim live streams. Now that I've got this whole OBS software figured out, I think that we need to start getting on the sims and doing live streams on YouTube.
What sim?
I don't know yet. Steele's been liking Velocidrone. I have not tried that. All right. Where are these jumpers at? 5-volt or VBAT?
Oh yeah, Steele, are you gonna come through Minnesota? Because if you come through Minnesota, I would like to hit a couple packs with you.
Yeah, he's about to hit the road soon. All right, this is something I always have to do, is freaking pull up the... Wait, I don't want the Hobby King. Pull up the wiring diagram so that I make sure that I get everything right.
I'm from the Twin Cities, Bloomington, actually, where the Mall of America is.
Dang.
In Minnesota.
I stay, like, when we have overnights in Minneapolis, which I used to have a lot of. I haven't had one in a while. I used to stay, like, right across the street from the Mall of America.
Yeah, that's where all the hotels are. They're just, like, right there.
Actually, we stay...
Smack them up.
We stay, like, a few blocks away now. It's, like, right across the street from a Trader Joe's.
I think I know exactly where that's at.
I can't remember the name of the hotel. Okay. Wait. Okay. Board orientation. Boom. Voltage out, video in. Camera.
Yeah, Minnesota winters are brutal. It's gonna be bad. That's what tiny whips are for.
Alright, so this is going to take a little bit of experimentation on my part. I think that cam pin is what the jumpers are for here. Whether it's... Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I see. It's either VBAT or 5-volt. I'm going to pull 5-volt off of a different pad for the camera and put VBAT for the video transmitter there. Dude. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, I just had a change of heart. And I think it's like... I think it's all because of Jason from FPV Model. I'm going to blame him. I'm going to put 5 volt there, and we're going to pull just your camera power, and I'm going to hook the Unify directly to battery power. It's got enough filtering on its own. It'll handle it just fine. He was saying something about some of these VTXs drawing more current than the state, and it's had some issues. And I don't know if that's... I'm guessing that's probably on the 5 volt regulated, but I am going to just play it safe because I don't want to brick your flight controller on test flights and then have to give you my Betaflight F4, because then I'd be pissed. So that's what we're going to do on that. All right, moving on. We have...
Yeah, I don't know. Is you running... Do you have the high volt one?
Yeah, they're high voltage.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just run my camera power straight off the VTX.
Yeah.
And then the VTX straight to the battery leads.
Yeah, it should be just fine. Just fine. Dang. That Loctite on the ESC packaging.
What camera would you use for night flying?
Honestly, okay. I don't do any night flying because under Part 107, that shit ain't legal. No. But if I were going to do some night flying, then I would, honestly, I like the Runcam Swift V2. Everybody's like, oh, the Owl for sure. I see that there, Ethan Harris. But for me, I don't go and fly in an empty field at night. I don't fly around trees at night. If I'm going to fly at night, It's a parking lot, and there's already lights. And the Runcam Swifts that I use on all my quads work amazing in those scenarios. So I just use what I always use. Personally.
I agree. I've flown at night a couple of times now, and I haven't had a problem with it as long as you're not flying out in the middle of nowhere, you know.
Yeah, you gotta do the settings right. You gotta turn off the switching so that it just stays color, and lock it into the color. Don't let it go black and white. And what else?
Yeah, it sucks flying in black and white.
Yeah, color, no black and white, and I don't know. I posted all the settings that I use, like copy and paste that stuff. And I copied Chad Nowak's settings, to be perfectly honest. And I think that all comes, I even say it in that video, and that all comes from like what comes on the Rotor Riot Runcam Swift's stock. Anyways, all right, let's move this in the camera view so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just tinning wires. It's all pretty straightforward, boring stuff. How do I mount the XT60 with the Betaflight F3? I just mount, so you'll see here in a minute, I'm going to mount it's just a XT60 lead off of the Betaflight F3 board, and I route it up and to where the XT60 lead wraps up in the battery strap and is held in place. I know Brian from the Brain 3D has some nifty 3D printed camera mounts, but he does have nifty 3D printed camera mounts, but 3D printed XT60 holders. But I just find it kind of unnecessary when I can wrap it around the battery strap and lock it in place. That 8S quad, I'm surprised nobody's trying 12S yet.
Wait. And I mean, couldn't you run like, what are those guys that are running like the 1000mm X class or whatever? What kind of batteries are they putting on those?
I have no clue. Like, that stuff to me is just ridiculous. The whole reason that I do this hobby is because I can build these badass toys that get great footage and let me go fly crazy gnarly locations and not be afraid of crashing. When you get those giant quads, you got to be afraid of crashing again, because you crash that shit and it's just like a yard sale everywhere. I saw when they crashed the one at the F1 race, I was up at that, and it was just that thing was wrecked.
Hey, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't build one of those to just fly it for fun around your house. That's like a serious machine at that point in time.
I agree, but like I don't want a serious machine. I want something to have fun with. So I don't know. That's just me. I'm a hater. Do you have X-Class lust there, Chris?
I mean, I would love to fly one. I would. I think it would be amazing.
I would be terrified to fly one.
I mean, I would be terrified to fly one as well. I hope that someday we have like the Formula One of quad racing. It's all just those big 1,000 millimeter 12S monsters or whatever they're running.
You know, that was something that was a realization for me was when I went to Joe Nall. Those top like 3D like plane pilot guys that are like sponsored and basically like the equivalent of the top sponsored pilots or whatever for mini quads. They don't build their own planes. They show up to those events and the sponsors have like built up a plane to their specs, decked it out, and it's just like, here, play with this for the week. And they go and they like just rip it, and then the plane goes one way and they go the other way to the next event where there's like another plane for them to fly. Like that blew me away. I was like, shit, I need to get on that train where I show up to the spot and Daniel from X-Hover is standing there with like this beautiful built Stingy frame. I was like, here, go rip this, Kevin. I'm like, yes, I will rip that. Like that would be dope. I would love to not have to build anymore. But alas, not only am I building my quads now, but I'm building quads for giveaways.
And I appreciate this, man. I promise you this quad will get put to good use.
No, I have full faith in it. A 3D printed lost model alarm holder that looks like the antenna holder. You know, honestly, Okay. Wait, who is that? Antoine Ozenu. Antoine, what kind of radio do you use? Answer me this. What kind of radio and receiver? And I'm going to wait. And if you see his response, tell me, Chris. Because this is something I don't understand all these the beepers and stuff. There's so many other options. I'm going to tell you some tricks.
I mean, you can make your ESCs beep.
You can make your ESCs beep, but I think that's not even okay. If you're talking beepers and ESCs beeping, like that's only once you get like in the last, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet to the quad. There are methods that get you in that distance and closer. DX8 Spectrum. See, this is the problem. You got no telemetry on the Spectrum stuff. Actually, I think some of the Spectrums do have telemetry now. I'm not a Spectrum expert because I don't use it. But you can do this. It doesn't even have to be the... if you have, for instance, a LaForge. Okay. What I do is I'll take my radio and I'll go to the RSSI numbers on the telemetry page, right? Hold up the radio to my body. So everything behind me is in a shadow because water blocks RF signals really, really effectively. And your body is 98% water. And so if you hold the radio up against your body, then you're basically creating a dead zone behind you. And if you stare at the numbers and you spin in a circle, you're going to see the RSSI numbers have a definite low spot. And whichever direction you're standing where you get the lowest RSSI numbers, then the quad is directly behind you. Turn around, walk that way 10, 20 feet, do the same thing again. Keep doing that, and you're going to walk right to the quad. Now, if there's no battery connected, then the beeper's not going to help you anyways, and this method isn't going to help you. And now we're into like the whole range of issues, like with I don't even know where to start then, but it's going to be a problem. The other thing that you can do is if your radio that you're currently using doesn't do telemetry, then and you're running, say, a LaForge, then you can do the same thing with the LaForge. Look, whichever receiver side has the patch antenna, so the one that's got is directional. do a sweep with it and figure out which direction has the strongest signal, because the LaForge has the little monitor showing you how strong the signal is on each antenna. Whichever direction gets you the strongest signal on the LaForge, walk that way. And then do it again until you find the quad. That's what I say.
Yeah, Dizzy, talking about that locator thing. I've seen those before. I'm just wondering, like, how well that actually works, because once it hits, like, once it disconnects from battery power, is it going to start beeping?
What locator thing are you talking about?
I don't know. I think I saw someone post it on the Rotor Riot Facebook page when they were talking about losing quads and stuff. It looked like a small little PDB that might charge itself up while it's on battery, but like when you unplug it, it has its own built-in battery and it beeps or something like that. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare. So basically what you're telling me is that every time you unplug your quad, this little thing is going to beep at you?
No, this is something different than what I was looking at. How much does it weigh, though?
That's also a question.
Betaflight 3.2 can support GPS now. We'll give you the last known location.
That's pretty cool.
Give me it. Yeah, that's not bad. It only weighs 5 grams. Okay.
Yeah, I have seen that with the Betaflight supporting the GPS, and that's something I'm going to be thinking about, because I'm looking to set up a 6-inch Stingy quad with some low kV motors and aiming for like a 5 or 6S setup to do some efficient, not like super long range stuff, but like medium range, and having a GPS on it would be really nice, just for the GPS telemetry back, so that you can get the last known position and pull it off of the crossfire or whatever.
Says Bot Grinder wants to know how to jump in with us. Are you serious? Get him in here.
Dang. Okay. Why is he not messaging me?
Well, Z-Drone said that.
Hang on. Let me hit this full up.
Yeah, I need to put a new ESC on too at some point in time.
Alright, yeah, Dude, every all-in-one is the same speed. I'm just a slow builder. This guy's like, the Maytech all-in-one's such a faster build. Dude, they all have the same number of solder connections. If you build faster, that's awesome, but like, you still have to solder up, unless you're talking about an all-in-one with built-in ESCs, which I've tried one, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Have you tried any of those, Chris?
I have not. However, I wouldn't mind trying one for like one of my race setups.
Yeah, see, I forget the... Oh, man, I can picture the guy's face, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was at the Formula One race. He's from Texas. I think it's Adam something. Anyways, he was going on about how great the ready-to-fly quads, of all things, all-in-one, flight controller, ESC, uh, everything, um, how well it all worked. So I ordered a couple and built one up, and it's not bad. But I had like the OSD die in the first day, which was like the only day I flew it. The it was like riddled with noise, which was something that I was expecting from it. I mean, you just put like ESCs and OSD and PDB and flight controller and all that stuff on one circuit board. It's bound to have some
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, it's nice, but
Which it worked, and it got me through a race, which I don't do that often. But it just wasn't. I don't think I'm going to use it again. Speaking of which, I've got another one. Would anybody in here like to buy it?
someone said you're about to get a phone call. Everyone's saying Bot Grinder wants to join us.
I just messaged him on Facebook. Dang, dude. Okay. All right. I'm gonna solder up these two connectors, and then I'm gonna invite him in. Why not? Why not? Is Steel still in here? I should have gotten Steel on the live stream. Oh well, that's on me. This will be cool. We can get Bot Grinder in here, and me and Bot Grinder can drink beers.
Fat Tony, we are going to be using a Betaflight F4 board with the new 32-bit 35 amp ESCs, right?
Yes.
And then going to be a Crossfire receiver and a TBS Unify Pro high volt.
Yes.
And the new Rotor Riot Runcam Swift 2. Yeah, right?
Yes. Oh, man. Dude, alright, I'm fixing this because this is going to annoy me. This is the one thing I don't like about the Betaflight boards with my frame in particular is the way that the power leads come off to the side. They don't like, and I don't know, it just sticks out and it doesn't look like the cleanest of builds, so I'm angling them backwards a little bit. In an attempt to clean it up.
Wattage do you usually run the VTX on? 800 all the time.
Even at the race, fuck that shit. You
Yeah.
ain't blasting
Yeah.
mine. You ain't hammering my shit. Okay.
No, generally 200. If I'm flying around buildings or thick trees, I'll turn it up to 800, but you really don't need it.
Okay. Wait, what'd you say about your wattage there? You don't use...
I don't, because I usually fly with people, and
Dude, this is something that boggles my mind. Everybody's like, I fly with people, I can't run these high wattages. But I run 800, 600, me, John, Steele, Nick, like 4 or 5 people in the air at the same time.
no problems?
Time. No problems.
Huh.
But that's because nobody's running like a 25 milliwatt one.
Yeah, I suppose. If everyone's running it, it might be good. Jason, I'm not going to Rochester tomorrow because it's going to rain, and they canceled the race and moved it to Sunday, so I have to work on Sunday, and I can't go to the race now.
Oh shit. I need... Okay. That is one thing I didn't plan for. I need to get a XT60 cable so that I can put that on, and then that's the last of the underside. Alright. Let's see, did Bot Grinder add me on the Skype shit?
Is there a downside to running it higher? Not really. I don't think the heat, as long as you're moving through the air, I don't think the heat's going to be bad at all.
No. How? Oh, wait, there we go.
Do not race in Duluth. However, I was actually up there last weekend flying around at like Palisade Head, and it's the first time I flew over water. One of the scariest things I've ever done. Did some cliff diving and stuff. That was really fun.
Dude, I want to do some longer range stuff over water, and that's going to be terrifying.
Oh, it's scary. It's like you just get done and
Sweaty palms and all.
yeah. Well, I was like flying over a cliff this weekend, and if I would have crashed on that, there was no getting my quad back. Like, can't climb down that cliff.
Oh, wait. Dude. Alright. Cramp it up over here. I'm stealing everything out of the DYS F4 box.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody said recently though that the DYS they had a DYS F4 board that had an XT60 with the reverse polarity colors on the wires. So I'm like double checking that shit before we do it.
I don't know. I like those XC60s that come with those DYS boards too. They look kind of snazzy. The little
Yeah, that's the same. It's the new version of the XT60 connector. It's the same thing that comes on the Venom packs that I run. I like it. It just like eliminates the need for heat shrink.
What do you think about the Tramp VTX? I've never used it, but I know that it's a really good VTX. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I like the Tramp. I've used both the Tramp and the Unify. I think if you're running audio, I think the Tramp has benefits because you're not then using smart audio for telemetry and setting power outputs and all that shit. But just for generally speaking, I think the Tramp and the Unify are fairly similar.
What else we got here? What's the difference between D-Shot 150, 300, 600, etc.? I don't know exactly the difference. Higher response times between the ESCs and the flight controller.
It is. If you look at the refresh rate for D-Shot 600 is slightly slower than multi-shot. D-Shot 1200 is way faster than multi-shot. But somebody was explaining this to me, which I didn't realize. Like, they did it in layman's terms, which was very helpful. And I wish I could remember the guy's name to give him a proper shout out. But it was somewhere on the Rotor Riot forum or the Rotor Riot Facebook group. Basically, multi-shot is going to be the first to get a response to the ESC. But it's not necessarily going to be the right response. It'll just keep sending that response till it gets a confirmation from the ESC saying that the ESC got the correct thing. And so a lot of times, multi-shot ends up being slower than D-Shot 600 in practice because it has to send it over and over and over and over again. Whereas with D-Shot 600, it's a digital signal with self-checking automatically. And it just it sends it the one time and it's good to go. So, yeah.
The Tramp, I think the Tramp is a little bit bigger than the Unify, but not much. They're pretty much both probably the same form factor.
Yeah, they're pretty similar.
Thing I've been doing actually with a lot of my builds is mounting the Unify on that white noise board and putting it on a stack.
What's this white noise board?
White noise board is a little PDB that you can just so if you look on the outside of the Unify, like around the edges of the PDB on there, you'll see like a bunch of different pads. You can actually solder the VTX to a PDB and it'll turn into like another stackable component and you can just throw it on the stack.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Here, I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Yeah, so this is what my stack looks like. Nope, right there. The VTX is on a board up on the top up there.
Nice. Cool. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
All right, so dude, I've got supposedly some of the. I've been talking to FR Sky, and they're sending me some of the new RXSR receivers. I'm kind of curious to give those a shot.
The redundancy ones.
Well, I mean, yes, it's basically just the XSR in a smaller form factor, which I use the XSR forever. I'm curious because I want the I want that X10S radio with
Me too.
with the IXJT module in it, because I've been talking to Sven from FR Sky, and apparently the IXJT module has a lower latency than the standard XJT module in like the X9D or the QX7. So you're going to get lower latency right off the bat. And so I'm kind of curious about giving that a shot.
Yeah, that's one of the. I mean, I think that's one of the major selling points to that because everyone's like, oh, it's not worth it just for a screen. But I think that the latency is a big selling point on there. The capacitor on there is because I get massive voltage spikes on a racing quad. You're accelerating, decelerating a lot, and you get a lot of noise through the camera, and the capacitor helps clean that up. You don't necessarily need it. It's just, it fits, so I put it there.
Dang. That's interesting. I didn't know that the 8 milliseconds, the custom FPV is. Are you talking about that IXJT module? Oh wait, hang on.
Yeah, I still don't think it'll be faster than Crossfire though.
I don't know. I'm interested to give it a shot. I don't think it's going to be faster than Crossfire, and I've been talking to Trappy, and he actually has some ideas that are going to cut down the latency even further on Crossfire, which is just absurd. But I can't wait to see it and fly it. But
yeah,
I'm really enjoying Crossfire. It's going to take. I don't know. If the latency issue or the latency discrepancy between Crossfire and FR Sky is reduced, then I would be open to running like a lot of my quads on FR Sky, just for like 90% of the flying that I do. I don't need the range of Crossfire.
Yeah, Crossfire is not hype at all. Crossfire is the real deal.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. Well, the receivers just went down in price. And there's now a $100 Crossfire module for your radio. So that went down in price too.
This is all true. I wish I had figured out whatever the deal with Crossfire was the first time around a lot sooner, because, well, I guess back then it didn't have all of the benefits that it does now of the Crossfire protocol being so much faster. Dude, I swear these like bolts for the standoffs are getting shorter.
What is the comparison between the two modules in range? Is it the same? Are you talking between Crossfire and FR Sky? Because between Crossfire and FR Sky, it's like massive difference in range.
Yeah, the Crossfire has like a range of like 60 to 100 miles at the highest outputs. So, and your FR Sky, you're looking at, maybe 2.5 miles max with nothing in between you and the quad.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with the Attitude V2s. I rocked Attitude V2s forever. Okay.
Does the Crossfire send telemetry back? Yes. Yes, it does. And in fact, you can even get like RSSI telemetry on your OSD.
Oh yeah, you can get the RSSI to the OSD. You can get all of the radio talking to you. The Lewis scripts work. All that just works.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Dude, these ESCs look freaking dope. I can't wait to mess around with the colored LEDs.
Yeah, I run the Ray 32's ESCs on most of my stuff now, and it sucks because I just put tape over it and I don't see it anyway, so I want to figure something out.
I've been contemplating this for a while now, and I think I know. Oh shit! I think I'm gonna have to use. Oh, belly showing. I'm thinking this through. I'm going to have to use a little bit of clear heat shrink on them so that I can do the... I'm going to put black tape on either end. So you've got whoa, there's the ESC. That's the LED. And then if I do black tape over this and black tape over that and a clear PC prop over the middle to protect it, I can have that blasting through. But I'm going to have to put some heat shrink on it too to make sure that it... but I have some clear heat shrink around here. That won't be a problem.
That seems to be the hardest stuff to come by. I'm always out of clear heat shrink.
I don't know what happened to Bot Grinder. He said he wanted to come on. I told him to add me on Skype. And then nothing. Let's ask him again. When I ask him again, I'm going to get another beer. And then and then we're moving on to the other connectors for the ESCs.
Says that's not a webcam, no way.
Wait, he said that?
It's gotta be a webcam.
Dang, Chris Simpson, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. The only reason that I really want to run Crossfire, I mean, the long range stuff is fun, but Crossfire protocol with that latency is the bee's knees. It'd be the equivalent of I don't know, if there's any gamers out there, it would be the equivalent of going from playing on an old tube TV and a wireless controller to playing on a high refresh rate monitor with a wired controller and zero latency between you and the TV, or in this case, the quad.
Yeah, our biggest issue now is on the camera latency issues.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm surprised at how many of you guys are sticking around. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I was I didn't know if it was going to be just a few people at the start and then empty room of me building. But Pepsi versus cocaine, yes. That is the analogy, exactly. Okay. Oh god, there's so many wires.
Hematronics. Anytime you're going to put any electronics on the frame, I like to put down a little bit of double-sided sticky foam tape underneath it. even if I'm zip tying something to the frame, just as installation, like put it underneath my ESCs, put it
Oh
underneath
yeah,
receivers.
I do the same thing with the double-sided sticky tape. It's
Yeah,
great stuff.
because basically what happened is you just shorted out your VTX and now it caught on fire.
I think a lot of these components too, I think, are susceptible to vibration issues.
Oh yeah.
And wearing them out. And if you mount it with that double-sided sticky tape, then it isolates a lot of that vibration.
Some of this stuff right here.
Yeah, you gotta have that. Where's mine at? I don't know. I got it around here somewhere. Oh wait, here it is. Boom. It's gonna be getting used in all the builds too.
Yep, 3M tape. That's exactly it.
Dude, Livestream software is dope. I'm liking OBS once I figured it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So what do? You work in a motorcycle shop, don't you?
Me?
Yeah, or you're into motorcycles or something.
Yeah, I have a motorcycle. I'm a college student right now, and I work at a coffee shop. So nothing too glorious about that, but
ain't nothing wrong with that. What are you studying?
computer engineering.
Damn, you need to make us the next badass sim.
The next badass sim, huh? I don't know. I'm actually I'm working with Liftoff on a couple of things. So I might be doing some projects with those guys soon.
Oh, that's cool.
But I really enjoy that. I spend a lot of my time, like, if it's, I mean, we got bad weather out here, and I spend a lot of time playing that simulator.
Yeah, I played Liftoff some early on. Like when I was first starting out, I was doing a lot of combo tricks, like the half flip, roll, half flip, and just weird combinations. You can see it in some of my early videos. I don't know. It was a phase for me. And like I would go on the sim to learn the combo and get it like down to muscle motor memory, and then go out and do it in real life. But I haven't really used sims that much in a while.
Yeah, I do. I really like the community on Liftoff as well. All of the guys that hang out there, and I just pretty much race. I mean, if I'm in a freestyle, I've got quads to go do that. So
yeah, that would be cool.
where are they at? Yeah, I'm an undergrad. I'm just working on my associates right now. I was in the Army for 6 years, so I'm a little bit behind on the college stuff, but I'm catching up.
Huh. Mic volume up or Chris down? Let's turn Chris down. Boom. Maybe that'll be better. Say something now, Chris.
Mic check. 1, 2.
The peaks are kind of more ballparkish. That's just me being a noob at like live stream mixing stuff. Sorry. Yeah. What did you do in the Army?
Well, I started off as a 25 Quebec. So my job title was multi-channel transmission system operator maintainer, which basically was a fancy word for a radio operator.
Yes.
But we really don't use radios anymore. So I kind of just was like the help desk IT guy. And I learned a lot about servers and routers and switches and all that stuff. And yeah, so I kind of like shifted gears towards doing IT stuff. Kind of comes easy for me. I've always been into computers, been building my computers since I was in high school. And
nice. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Bot Grinder. He said he wanted to come in. I tried to get him in, and he's just MIA. So until he hits me up on the Skypes, I can't really do much.
I do not have a ham license. I should though. Got my AMA. He's installing Skype, they say.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I pretty much played games all day when I was in the Army because it's kind of like what I did was not a joke, but there wasn't much work for a guy in my field in the Army.
Okay. I'm really curious to see how this whole telemetry thing works. I haven't done ESC telemetry since having a full KISS setup a while ago. You ever do telemetry?
I didn't. I don't. I know it's a thing, but
I find that. Oh wait, I hear sound effects that tell me that Botsy is in the house on the Skypes. I feel like it's just more accurate on. Yeah, I feel like it's more accurate on the current draw on everything. Let's see here. How do I add people?
We'll go take a leak real quick.
Do it. All right, we're trying to call Bot Grinder. Let's see. What you fixing there, Expense?
Yo.
What's up?
Hey, buddy. I think I may have exited out of my stream on accident.
There's a button there that'll fix it.
Hopefully, I just fixed it. I'm not used to a Mac, and apparently you can swipe 2 fingers on the touchpad there, and it goes back to the page you were on.
Yeah, the magic swipes.
All right.
Dang.
I think I'm back. I think I may have exited out of my stream.
Oh wait, I think. Do you have headphones?
How's the build going?
It's going slow. I'm a slow builder. Somebody was in here like saying, "Oh, the blah 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 build is so much faster."
I need to grab
and I
headphones.
think, yeah, grab some headphones, and then there won't be so much feedbacks.
I'll be right back.
Ugh. Oh, man. Is there a reason? I don't know why the motor pads are the way that they are. They just are. You just go with it. Dude, I'm so ready to start putting things on the flight controller and ESC at this point. What's
Stream's
up?
about to get vulgar in 3, 2, 1. Your ball grinder's here.
This is going great.
Yeah, he's probably gonna come in here and I got like this whole PG audience.
All right. Hello?
Yo.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. This is great because my stream is lagging really bad, but I'm looking at your stream, which I also have over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just looking at your stream on my other computer.
Yeah, there's totally like a lag. Like I can see it from the what's on showing as live versus what I'm seeing that I'm making. But I've kind of got the whole stream itself covered up on my screen with the Skype stuff, so I just don't pay attention.
I'm doing horrible at mine.
Yeah, I don't know why the Betaflight board has 2 motor leads going off to the side and 2 going in to the back. I'm sure that there is probably a reason that it's laid out the way that it is. But, you know, I didn't design the thing. I just fly it.
I have been flying my Stingy frame for the past few days, and I love it.
Dude, I was just
It
before
flies
this.
so nice. I've been bashing it.
Before I started the stream, I was actually watching your, I don't know what you called it, but the one where you're flying the cemetery, talking about your friend getting the gun pulled on him.
Oh yeah, ruining it for everybody video.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to a new part that I usually don't go to, like the big, you saw the big like circle, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm hearing my echo from my, like a lag on my audio from my stream, and it's throwing me so off.
You got to turn off all the audio back to you except for the Skype chat.
This is so much for me right now. Let's see. Okay, I turned that down.
It's
Hopefully
super
I
hard
didn't
to talk
destroy
when
my
you hear an echo of your voice, huh?
Put down the
The
joint.
most confusing thing.
Oh man, I smoked an entire blunt before my stream and then during, and I'm doing great. There's so much happening.
Yes,
Jason.
kids are in bed. Good. That's good, because no guarantees with Botsy in here what's going to happen.
Yeah, I try to
Anything
be
could happen.
professional when I have to. I try to be polite, but I'm just scumbag at heart, so it sneaks out sometimes.
I mean, I think there's a tip button, and if you tip, you might be able to get Botsy to take off his clothes.
No, he will.
That, I mean, that'd have to be liquor involved at that point, not just beer.
Dang, speaking of beer, cheers. What
Yeah,
are you
cheers,
drinking?
buddy. PBR. I had my twisted tea I started with, and I got PBR.
Damn.
Classy. Real classy.
I left my live stream to grab another beer and use the bathroom. You know, very, very classy over here.
Wait, is your live stream still going?
Oh, yeah. I actually just checked back on it.
So wait, you're doing 2 live streams at once.
How does that
It's
work?
like Inception. That's why I'm like, I shouldn't have smoked those blunts before I started doing this. All right, they were just saying that they didn't have audio in my live stream because I thought I was turning down my echo back to me, but I was actually just turning off the audio to, yeah, hi guys, to this. This is going awesome. 75 people, and none of us have any idea what's happening. But, you know, this is so good because when I found out you were doing the live stream around the same time, I was like, oh, dude, I wanted to watch that. Like, that sucks. And I have to do mine. I didn't have to. I could have canceled it, but I wanted to, like, keep doing it. And I get to do both. How cool is this?
Have you been doing a live stream every Friday?
This is the second one. I did one last Friday. It went pretty well, so now I'm doing this one.
Yeah, I want to start trying to do more live stream things. It's cool. For sure.
I mean, like Paul Nurks, I really enjoyed watching his live builds he did and stuff.
Oh, I hadn't seen those.
He hadn't done one for a minute. He used to do them a lot.
Yeah, Schizo's been doing some live stuff. Oh
Jason,
my
I'll
God.
hit you up when I get mine. We'll go out and have some fun.
This is getting kind of hard. Can I end this call and jump back in at a later point?
Yeah, go for it.
Sick. I want to go to this other one, to mine, and see what the heck's going on.
Good
I'm
luck,
gonna
man.
slam another beer. We'll come back. I got you in the background too, so we'll keep an eye on it. Where are we at this point?
Basically, I'm finishing up the ESC wire connections on the flight controller, all the signal, telemetry, and ground. I got one more of those to go, and then I'm going to start installing the ESCs. And then, like, it's always I don't know. That's where it's at, though.
All right. I'll be back for the no magic smoke part.
Yay!
All right. Later, guys.
All right, later.
Later.
Okay. Get that. Some of this.
Later, Jason.
Oh, we got more people bailing. X-Hover motors are dope. It's pretty much all I'm flying. I've got hype trains to test out, but I just keep having problems trying to get that thing to work. Not because of the hype trains. It's just they're on a problem child quad. That's all. So the telemetry pad on the ESCs are not. Let me just show you real quick. So the first version of the Betaflight ones, you had to connect like to some weird dot over here. God, this I'm used to my Sony camera autofocus, like one of those little dots. I don't even know which one. But the new version, you see your signal pad, that big old pad there. On the flip side, that is now a telemetry pad. So boom, signal, boom, telemetry. These are like the first ones of these in existence. There's not even an update on the website stating that that's been changed, but it has, and I got some. So, no more problem of ripping the telemetry pads off. Okay.
What are you using? 6337? What is 6337?
Where's that 60? Oh, I think he's talking about the solder.
Oh, yeah. Solder. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 6040. I think that's what he's talking about. Is 6337 a solder thing?
Yeah, he's talking about it.
Yeah. What's the benefit of 6337 over 6040?
I don't know. Joshua Bardwell did a video on it recently. He like talked to some solder expert, and apparently that's like better. But yeah.
Interesting.
It's more expensive, I think.
It always is.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever like, this thing's so much better and it's cheap.
They're saying it flows better. No cold joints ever. It has a lower flow temperature. Yeah, 6040 is available everywhere. Like I can just go down to a store down here and just get some solder. So
yeah, the Ace Hardware around the corner has 6040.
how often do you build a new quad?
Almost never. Basically, I don't know, maybe one every 2 or 3 months. And then it's just maintaining them. Like, I got 3 quads up and running right now, 2 of which need maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, my quads last me a while.
Damn it, did I? This, if you don't have one of these, then you're like missing out.
What kind is yours? Do you have a fancy fluke one?
No, just, I don't even know what it is. Perfect. See, I thought I'd shorted out a ground wire to a telemetry wire. I hadn't.
Mine's Klein.
And now I know. Mine is, I don't know, mine's like Harbor Freight special or something.
Oh, I'll do the trick too. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I think my pops uses one of those fluke ones, and they have to like, because he works with electronics, and they send those things in like every year or so to get calibrated or something,
yeah.
So that they're like super fancy one.
Nice. Okay. Oh my god.
How do you define maintenance?
For me?
Yeah.
So I define maintenance in that quad that I had a head on with steel in my last video. That one has like a busted FPV camera lens, a bent standoff, a broken top plate, a dead ESC. So that one needs fixed. And then the other one is the one that's had all sorts of electronics issues, and I'm just going to fix it by dumping everything out of it except for the VTX, except for the FPV system, basically. New flight controller, ESCs, and then hopefully it'll just work again. Dude, that's awfully short. What were you thinking, Kevin? Why'd you cut it so short? Dude, I better not have to redo that. I think it'll be enough. Alright. Time to 10 the ESCs. Alright. Where'd my... There it is. Dude, the white balance on this webcam is not like the hottest. If there's no like skin tones in it, it just goes whack. It's funny. I can like stick my hands in, great. Take my hands out, garbage. Great. Garbage. It just doesn't know what to do with the green mat. That's funny.
Beard boy, let me get that number. I think you already have that number.
Wait, what number?
My phone number. My girlfriend's in the chat. Hi, Samantha.
Dang. All right, we got any good questions? Somebody tell me a funny story in the comments. How about that? Thanks, RC dude. I work for an airline called ExpressJet. Okay. That one.
Did you fly any other types of RC before mini quads?
I flew, yes, I started out I flew RC planes with my dad as a kid, but very little of that. And then when I first got into this, I did like flight test, like foam me builds. And then from there, got into mini quads. From there, got into FPV planes, and then from FPV planes into mini quads. But I was only FPVing planes because I wanted to FPV mini quads. It was just a matter of like the cheapest way into buying components and getting all the gear for me.
There's some other good ones. Oh, what's your favorite real life plane and why?
Ooh, okay. This, I like this question because nobody ever likes my favorite real life plane. It's the Wilga. It's this weird
The fuck? Okay.
WILGA. It's got trailing link landing gear, spring-loaded leading-edge slats. The original had this big radial engine on it. They make a version now, I think that's like a... I don't know if it's a turboprop or... I think it's an IO 540 Lycoming engine, actually. But it is... That thing can land in like such a short distance and take off in a really short distance. And it's just bad. So if you don't know what trailing link landing gear is, it's basically... So you got your landing gear that sticks down like this, and most is just stiff. It's just there, and then if it hits something, the whole thing's going to break off. A trailing link, imagine it as having like an ankle. And so if the wheel hits something, it'll like bend back like this. And so it's like kind of... it's like suspension, But then you put the big Tundra tires on it that are like massive tires. The thing is rated to roll over a 12-inch diameter log. Think about that. That's a log that's like that big around. And if you land and hit a log that size, the plane doesn't give a shit. It'll just roll right over it. I don't know. That's the sort of plane.
So then this would be like a bush plane, huh?
Those
things are really tiny looking. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
There's like nothing to it.
Yep. It's like most people would say it's ugly, but I think it's awesome. I want one.
It's not ugly at all. Donald, yes, these are 32-bit ESCs.
Robbie Emons. Wait. I don't know which build picture you sent me, man. I'm sorry. That's awesome. I'm glad you got your quad back, Miles. Sometimes, it's stuff like that that makes you feel good about the world. You're like, you know what? We're going to be okay. He's not licking his nuts. He's licking his back. Maybe he was licking his nuts a minute ago. Oh, man. The slow chat is going to kill you guys on the storytelling. The multi-installments.
Slow mode.
I might have to turn that on.
Search around.
Dude, I love those Lotus stick ends.
Oh yeah, Lotus. Look that up.
I'm gonna do a video on my QX7 because I think I am gonna switch over to the X10S. Because it's basically a QX7 with an updated module. Like, it feels like the QX7 in the hand with the aluminum gimbals. I know Steel's not a huge fan of that, but I kind of like it. And I want to do a video on my QX7 setup before I switch over. So, yeah. I would totally go skydiving. I want to. I am a little nervous about it, but I would totally do it. Mr. Steve was in here earlier, but I'm sure he's got other things to do.
Wolf, I think the QX7 is a really good radio. Only mod that you need to do really is put those M7 gimbals on it. It's night and day difference between the stock ones.
Yeah, I think the M7 gimbals are kind of a required update in my book.
Yeah. And if you want to use Crossfire, go watch Stingy's video on how to solder yourself in a little
Everybody's like, it's such
inverter.
I think a lot of people are scared to do that mod. It's really not that hard.
No, it's not. And people coming out with UBAD is coming out with like a little PDB to mount it on as well. So all you have to do is just solder the wires from the
Honestly,
little,
I think it might be harder to mount that thing into the PDB than it is to solder a wire to it. What do you think?
Yeah, it would be. But I think that UBAD is like coming out with like the little PCB boards with it already mounted on it. And then it's just going to have four solder points on it, and then you just solder a wire from the solder points to where it needs to go in there.
That's good. That'll work. I'm on board for that. Dude, this is one thing I hate when the pads have the flow through. So like you put a bunch of solder on it and then it like sinks through to the bottom side. You're like, damn it.
I hate that.
I want that solder on the top. Don't do that.
It's the worst.
Oh, first world problems.
Are Are you gonna try the new KISS V2 and the 32 amp ESCs?
Oh man, I hate testing new shit. God, I hate it. At some point, oh, my back's starting to hurt a little bit. At some point, I'm gonna have to test out the new KISS stuff just so that I know what's up with it. I try to stay up on everything and try everything out. But I'm not looking forward to testing it out. I don't like testing new things. I like having stuff that just works for me. So
I'll agree on that. That's kind of why I just like, I don't know, if I find something new that I like and it works, I just stick with it.
yeah. Alright, I'm going to do this one with the shortest wires of the bunch first. Because if it's not going to work, I want to know and fix the wires first thing.
Is it possible to use quad motors for an RC car? I suppose. I don't know how RC cars are configured. I mean, I imagine that you could probably slip any kind of motor in there if you had the right adapter for it, but...
Yeah, I mean, like, a brushless motor is a brushless motor. I guess it all
Yeah.
depends on, like, what kV you need and how much torque you need and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I was hanging out at the hobby shop over here the other day, and so I was just like blown away at people having issues with their speed controllers for their little trucks,
Yeah.
catching on fire and stuff, and they've got like huge heat sinks and fans on them and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, how much power are you really like pumping out of one motor, one speed controller?
Did you get an answer?
No, I was just, I mean, I wasn't even really talking to the guy, so I was just kind of looking
just-
around for some wire and little odds and ends, and I hear this guy talking about how he's always burning up his speed controller and he needs like a big fan on it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't imagine that you're pulling much more power. I mean, I guess we have 4 speed controllers, so
Okay, this is going to work out just fine.
stripping wires over your build drops bits into your electronics. Yes, it does.
What? Huh?
Said stripping wire over your build drops bits into your electronics.
Oh,
But
yeah.
stripping wire with your fingers also doesn't cut any of the wires on the inside, so it's just silicone that's getting dropped onto your electronics.
This is very true. That's why I do it the way I do it. Well, that's not the only reason, but that's an added benefit. Just melt. Why won't you melt?
Do you ever clean the flux off of your electronics when you're done soldering?
God, no.
No?
Do you do that?
You know, I did for a while, but then it's like, that kind of stuff is meant for a long... I don't think this is... To be honest, these electronics aren't going to last us more than a couple years. Tops, anyways, so...
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
kind of my
that-
take.
You're going to get... I mean, it makes it look nice, and it's not all, like... You don't have the goopy flux all over it, but...
Boom. Okay.
As far as corrosion goes, I don't think it's going to make any difference at all.
Nope. Oh yeah, this thing's coming together.
Soft-mounted motors? No.
No.
Never soft-mount motors. Soft-mount your flight controller, but no motors. I've actually had problems. I tried some of those little sticky soft-mounting things, and I've had them get up in like the shaft and just get all sticky in there and all nasty, so just screw them on. You really shouldn't have any issues.
Dude, I will say one thing about just the old Betaflight, or not Betaflight, but BL Heli ESCs that came with the wires already done. Like, I kind of miss that. I don't. It's nice that you get to do like the whole clean build and the wires that you like. But dude, just having not have to like do stuff, that's awfully nice too.
Oh yeah, don't. Like I said, I've been using the Wraith 32s on a lot of my builds, and it's a pain. It's an actual. It's a big pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I say the same thing to myself every time. I'm like, why can't they just solder the wires on here? Like, soft mount your VTX, you'll get double the range.
Dude, just put it in the oven.
Yeah. Bake it at about 475.
Oh my god. This thing is pissing me off. Just go down. Ow, it's... I get frustrated with builds sometimes, man.
You wonder if Flux cooperates with silicone conformal coating? Yeah, that is a good point. Do you think that cleaning off the flux off of the electronics would help the conformal coating adhere a little bit better?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Express like the frame is a stingy frame.
I feel like the conformal coating stuff, it's really easy to tell what's been coated and what hasn't. And, like, I would just go that route. You know, like, if it stuck to it, it stuck to it. I don't know. Oh, that's hot! Damn it! All right, this is getting to the stage of the build where I start to get frustrated. This is how these things go. Yeah, okay, let's see. What time is it? 11:18. Holy shit. So we've been going for 2 hours. Yeah, the conformal coating, clean surface, totally ideal. Boom. Got that. That's still hot. All right, I think what I usually don't burn myself any a build, but
I burn.
Do you?
Burn myself every time. Yeah. Well, because I'll be like, you know, I don't need to hold this wire with the pliers this time. I could just do it with my finger, and then the heat just goes straight up that silicone. I'm like, I should have held it with the pliers. It gets me every time. Because, you know, like, sometimes you'll get on a roll with the soldering, and, like, everything's just flowing so well, and it's just like, you tap it and it goes, you tap it and it goes, and then you expect that to happen, and you tap it, and then the heat just goes to your finger, and you're like, why'd I do that?
You tap it. It didn't go!
Yeah.
Dude, alright. Let's just get these guys going. I want to see like one ESC installed nice and clean. It's going to give me motivation. It's going to make me feel like it's all worth it. Dude, I'm not... This is so weird doing like a... Yeah, I don't know about the BL Heli 32 settings because I haven't... This is the first build I've ever done with one. I'm going to experiment with Chris's quad, and then once I have it figured out, I'll do it for me.
Fair. You know, I didn't change any of the settings on it. Only thing I did in BL Heli Suite was just reverse the motors that needed to be reversed, and then it was good to go. And honestly, like, probably not even going to have to do much tuning either with if you're putting 3.2 on there.
Yeah. Dude, I know, like, my PIDs that I run now when I work up a tune is so close to stock PIDs that it's like I'm beginning to question, do I even need to tune anymore? About the only thing that I will be doing personally is lowering the eyes. I don't know why, but I just like lower eyes values. Oh, and I like higher yaw gain. So that's like the only things that I really only need to do to tweak it anymore.
Samsonite mic. Those are not the Wraith 32s. Those are the Betaflight 32s. It's pretty much the same thing, but they're Betaflight.
Yeah. Yeah, they look very similar. I think the Betaflight 32s have more capacitors on them to clean up the noise too. Boom. One ESC down. It only took us 2.5 hours.
Heat shrink.
Oh shit!
Too late. Oh, man.
Actually, I didn't even finish. It still had one more motor wire to go. Hang on. Let's go find that clear heat shrink. I'll be right back. I'm like boxed in with lights in here. You guys can't see the lights that are off screen.
Yeah, that frame is super pretty. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna put some clear props on top of it so that you can show the LEDs through it.
Okay.
If you waterproof, do you also use heat shrink, or can you just skip it? You probably should use heat shrink if you're putting conformal coating on there anyways, but
yeah, conformal coating will chip off. So yeah. I would still heat shrink it. All right. Yeah.
Flight controller is the Betaflight F4.
A cross pattern in the video? What are you talking about, David?
I don't see him.
I have not been using turtle mode, but that's mainly because it's not been playing nice with the KISS 24 amp ESCs on my other build. And the other thing with the XSD 30 amps, I don't feel like flashing the newest firmware so that they work. That's just laziness on my part, mostly. It's all laziness. Okay.
Welcome back, Co-Nasty.
Dang, that boy back?
Yeah, I think he's talking smack, too.
What's he saying? It's taking me too damn long?
Yeah.
I know. I'm a slow builder. I don't like building. It takes me forever. I do this slow. Like, normally when I build a quad, I'll just put the TV on. I'll, like, start a Netflix series or something and just, like, let that roll in the background and, like, watch it and just chill and build.
Exactly. I do this the same thing.
And like, normally I would build
something going on.
I'd build this quad over like 4 days.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Never happens all in one sitting.
Yeah, I have only ever done one build all in one sitting, and that was the one for the Rotor Riot video. All right. I'm gonna hit it with some heat gun because I don't like.
That's a hefty heat gun.
It is.
Melt the paint right off a car with that thing, but Do you have issues with the titanium screw head stripping?
I've not had a problem. I've only used them on like 2 of my builds though, because I had early prototype. Most of my frames were like earlier, before we had all of the hardware and different components sourced, and so for those, I didn't have the titanium hardware, so I just used aluminum. But the one that I've got that has it, I've not had an issue. Dang, that looks pretty. Next.
Yeah, that's nice. Why is it not a... You know what? I was actually thinking about that, but I totally slipped my mind. I don't even know how well those motors would handle. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd spin a 6-inch prop pretty well. And you can get 6-inch arms for this thingy, right?
Yes, and I've got some. I just talked to Daniel today. He's sending me some 6-inch arms, and I'm going to be doing a 6-inch stingy. Who's asking about that?
There's people, I don't know, maybe Konasi mentioned something about 6 inches.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to him about some 6-inch options earlier.
What's the fastest quad you've ever flown?
Me? Oh, God. Probably one of my R5X frames from back in the day when I would run it without a GoPro. Like, that shit was fast. I built up a racing quad for an event not too long ago, but it just didn't have the same feel. I don't know what was off, but it definitely wasn't as fast. Sorry, I'm stretching out my back. It's getting worn out.
Do you run... How about this one? This is I mean, you obviously don't focus much on racing, but this is a question from me.
All right.
If you were to race, would you run the same rates or would you run lower rates?
I run the same rates, personally. I know a lot of
Okay.
people are advocates of running lower rates, and I tried that for one event, and it just didn't work for me. Like, it took me forever to get used to the feel of it. And I prefer it to just feel like it feels. All the time.
Yeah. So, I recently started playing around with lower rates for racing. And I kind of try to keep my curve the same, but just change the, like the max degrees per second, so that it feels similar.
Yeah.
And it ends up working out, So it's not that much of like a difference going from flying like a freestyle quad. But I know you fly with a shit ton of expo, don't you?
Like a ridiculous amount of expo.
Yeah. So that's going to be kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be able to play around with it and find something that works. But for me, for the most part, I think I just like my rates. Hey! The fuck? You weren't supposed to come up?
How much expo do you fly with? Do you know off the top of your head?
All of it.
Oh, I don't know. Just put it to you like this. Like, if you look at his graph, it goes like straight over and then it drops.
Yeah, basically, my expo settings are for the inner 2/3 of travel, basically, are what I use for like flying and maneuvering around stuff. And then that last third, I just go all the way to the stick end. And so it's like nice and smooth, and then just like full, like ridiculous rate. There's like no fall off at that. So the only time I go to the stick ends is for like just snap rolls and snap flips. And then the inner 2/3 are for cruising and maneuvering. Okay. next?
Have you tried the Runcam Swift 2?
Yes, I'm a fan of the Swift 2. I was talking to... I'm almost certain that what they're doing, like, the Runcam Swift, when it was new, was dope. And then they, like, started to go downhill, and then the Swift 2 came out, and then they went really downhill on the Swift 1 quality. And I'm almost certain that what they're doing is they're binning those sensors. They're testing them, and then the ones that are good go into the Swift 2s, and the ones that are like the low end of quality go in the Swift 1. And I really think that's what they're doing. Personally. Because it's the same sensor.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It ought to work the same. And you know, they do that with a lot of electronic components like LEDs and whatnot. I think that's what they're doing. It's not a bad practice. I'm not saying it's shady, but I just wouldn't buy any Runcam Swift 1s anymore. Worst quad crash I've ever had. I think my worst quad crash, like destruction wise, was probably on the video where I really learned power loops, which, I mean, I learned them for a long time, how to do different things with them. But it was like at this school in my hometown in Kingsport, Tennessee, and I was flying by myself, and dude, I hit a light pole that I never saw coming, and the FPV camera like exploded into a million pieces. Like, I broke the circuit board inside of it, and that was before Runcam Swifts. That was like the original Runcam that had like the aluminum case, and I broke the aluminum case. I broke the circuit board inside of it. The quad just exploded on impact. Like, I broke everything on that crash. In fact, it was so bad that as I was picking things up, I went back to the car to get my phone to go and record like the strewn parts everywhere. There's a video somewhere on Facebook, I think, of me walking around like, oh, and here's the lens from my FPV camera, and here is the lens protector for my GoPro, and here is the battery for my GoPro. It was absurd. Like, it was like a 50-foot debris field.
I did a similar thing. I was doing like a flat yaw spin, and I turned around, and there was a light pole right in front of me, and I like folded my quad like a hot dog bun, just like in on itself. Smashed my GoPro lens all the way up. Smashed my FPV camera lens all the way up. It was just it was bad. Metal poles are not nice to hit.
No, they are not forgiving at all, whatsoever. Dude, so is this like the slowest build you've ever watched, Chris?
No. I mean, I've probably had some slower builds, but
that heat is real.
the Aero V3, yeah, that's what I ran in all mine, just because like everyone locally has Aeros. Never actually used a run cam. It's all Fox here.
Yeah, I went from the HS. So, dude, this is old school. How long have you been flying?
Hey, since this summer, like
okay,
June.
Dang. When I first started a couple of years ago, we flew PZO 420s, and those were big. And then the HS 1177 came out, and that was like a game changer. And now you got like Runcam Swifts and Foxier and like all these things that are like hobby centric. Like the PZO 420, that's shit that they put in like backup cameras and stuff.
Yeah. Because I mean, they were like supposed to be closed circuit cameras, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's what it's.
exactly.
I mean, technically, they still are like CCD camera sensors, aren't they? They're the same.
Yeah. I see your eye. Dude, what what are you doing, Konasti? Are all the babies in bed now? Is that why you're like back out here to play?
You're on the West Coast, huh?
Yeah.
California boy. That's where I grew up, man. I'll be back out there soon.
All right. Heat shrink. Not going to forget that
Yeah.
again. I think once I think what I'm going to do, because this will be almost. Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the fresh kicks. I think what I'm going to do after I finish this ESC is call it a night, because, man, 3 hours straight working on this is a lot, and then bring it back in tomorrow night. Are you going to be around tomorrow night too, Chris?
Yeah.
Good, because I think the real questions about like what to do with stuff is going to be closer to the end. Like, hey, do you want Immortal T, or do you want me to mount the antenna this way, sort of thing. So, yeah, I got 2 more ESCs, and then I'm bailing. So if you got a question you've been dying for an answer to, then like, now's the time. Or
X-Hover
like,
says that you're building too slow as well.
dude, just be glad that I'm not like raging. Daniel's watched me do a build. He had to go in the other room because I was like throwing shit at him. It was the first. Whoa. Oh shit, that is not good. It was the very first prototype Stingy frame, and when you cut like a frame on like a machine like he has, the stuff was not finished. You've got to sand it and do all sorts of stuff. Okay, sorry, I had a little solder ball flick into the wrong place. And, like, I can't afford to fry an ESC. I don't have enough. Alright, I got it all. We're good. Yeah, I got so frustrated with like having to file things down and screws not fitting, and you gotta like bring out the drill to drill out the holes. It was I got frustrated on that build big time.
Yeah,
Sure.
so he's putting on the 2206 2420 X-Hover motors. Pretty little naked bottom ones.
Dang, Chris went and looked up the stats because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I had to. That's exactly what I just did because I never remember stator sizes and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that they're 2206 and they're 24 something kV, and that's all I ever remember. Like the 20, does the 20 really matter? It's basically a 2400 kV motor. Like, what is OP1, Eric? Dude, what part of France are you in, Arl? I want to come visit.
It is 420.
Huh?
The 420 motors.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Why do you prefer 2400 over 2600 kV?
Because I like my batteries. No,
Yeah, me too.
no, the 2600s. I've flown like one setup with them. It just, I don't know. For the props and everything that I fly, for the most part, the 2400s are plenty. That's just personal.
Yeah,
personal preference.
I even feel for racing, 2400s are plenty.
Yeah, well, just look at the multi-GP championship. Vanover won with the very motors that are on this guy.
Did he? See? Yep, there it is.
Yeah. 2420s.
Dead Mouse has an X-Hover quad? I didn't even know Dead Mouse flew.
Did you go out and set that up for him, Daniel? I have seen Dead Mouse flying around his yard. There is a video of that out there. Daniel's probably already gone. Whoa, that's what that funky smell was. I was burning my build mat. Awesome. See that? Yay.
That happens too.
Damn it. One of them nights. Well, 2 more ESCs, and then we're going to wrap it up. And the next day will be a little bit of basically the FPV gear and programming and antenna mounting. And that's it.
Oh, Drew's back.
Drew's back. What the fuck?
Right
He just came in to talk shit. You better be careful, or I'm gonna leak those the leaky butthole pictures.
Whoa!
Dang! Now we're gonna have like all sorts of mad conspiracy theories on these leaky butthole pictures. Mm-hmm. Oh, why did I do that one first? It's always easier to do the telemetry pad on the backside first. You know what I just realized is the Betaflight ESCs also make you flip the ESC over just like the Betaflight flight controller. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Ooh, Konassi, I just seen your Instagram post. It's a pretty little earbud you got there.
What kind of earbud action he got going on?
It's a little earbud that he made, but it's like, I don't know. I have these Bose earbuds that I wear a lot, and they have like the thing that fits in your ear super, super well. And that's what this has. Like it's not just like the ones that just press in.
Gotcha. Yeah, he made the one that Steel has used forever. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've got one of those little quad bud ones. Works pretty well. It's nice. I don't ever use it though. Like I got it and I don't know. It's smart audio kind of
ruined it.
Yeah.
Did you like Rocking Audio?
I do like it. It just wasn't that much of like I don't know, an advantage, I suppose. It does kind of get weird when you get far enough away that you can't hear your quad, and you're like, oh, you give it some throttle and you're waiting for that whiny sound and it doesn't come. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you get over that pretty easily. I feel like, at least.
Yeah. Wow, what is going on in these comments? What have I missed?
Yeah, what is it?
Yes, Miles, the Betaflight F4 has telemetry pads for the ESCs. That is definitely one of the things I am digging on this new one.
You run smart audio and audio? You can do that? I didn't know you could do that. Thought it was like one or the other.
How do you do that? Because I've heard that it's a thing. I just don't know.
Yo Stinger, have you ever heard of the homo flip?
The homo flip? I can't say that I have. Oh, dude, you know what? I totally forgot. I could have been like barraging you guys with ads all night. Tell me this. I don't know how this works. I've been creating. This is my first live stream ever, and so it's got a button here that does play ad. Is this going to interrupt everything, or are you just going to get like a little thing in it?
I think
you guys tell me.
I think it's going to interrupt everything. I don't know. I have ad blocker on, so don't hate me.
Wait, did I click it? I think I did. Alright, I clicked play ad. Let's see what happens. Wait, now where did my Skype window go?
I think we just have to be quiet for a little bit.
Wait, we have to be?
I mean, we don't have to be, but...
They're like, yes, it plays an ad, thanks.
I don't know if we're back from the ad yet.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's okay. That sucks. I need to figure out. It didn't do anything. Ad blocker works.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. Sorry, guys. I was just curious because it's got the little thing. I think there might be options where I can tell it not to do like the interrupty ads, but only do the ones that pop up on the screen, and you have to hit the X. But I don't know. It's the first live stream. Give me some slack. I hadn't barraged you with ads for 3 hours, so I feel like I should get a pass.
What flavor am I vaping? Cupcake Kisses.
Oh my god. Basically a fancy name for vanilla.
Yeah, basically. Vanilla custard. That's it. Are we doing the vaping thing right now? I guess. It's an RX-23 with a little RDA on it, made by the same guy. I don't know what it's called.
Wait, are you a sponsored vapor?
No, not at all.
I didn't even know that was a thing. When I went out flying with some guys up in White Plains, New York, I met a guy. He's Tech Lust is his Instagram thing, and he's like sponsored by vape companies.
Yeah, like, some people like they do tricks and stuff, and they do that.
I think he like goes and does competition clouds or something.
Yeah, cloud competition. What was I gonna say? This is my favorite juice. This is my go-to. The same stuff all the time. Cone Nasty says, "Who's the best underrated pilot?" You guys know who Vic FPV is? Flies mode 3. He does really crazy stuff because he flies like a madman. I don't know how you even fly mode 3.
Okay, I'm coming back with another beer, and then I'm going to tell you who I've been digging on underrated-wise lately. Oh, my back!
Yeah, it's got nicotine, 3 milligrams.
Dang, you're gonna be addicted. No, I smoked for like well over a decade. Oh, God. Wow. Glad this is buried in like a 3-hour long video because I never even told my parents that. They had to know. But, oh. What was I saying? Yeah. And, man, quitting is not easy. I tried the e-cigarette thing and it just did not really work for me. But that was also before they were like awesome.
Yeah.
Dang. Thank you, Sasquatch.
Like
That's baller. I didn't know that like people.
Yeah.
I knew there was a money button, but I didn't know people could actually donate. I mean, I guess I did. I saw the money button, but thank you.
So mode 3, I think, is like mode 1. So your throttle is on the right side, except I think that yaw and roll are switched. So I think that your roll is on your throttle stick, and then your yaw is on your pitch stick. I'm pretty sure that's what mode 3 is. Yeah, it's back. It's weird. But watch a stick cam of him flying. Like.
That's crazy. Have you seen Red FPV?
No.
He is my soldering iron's too smart for me. It turned itself off. So Red FPV, he flies some crazy locations. Like he's got a video, I think it's his like sizzle reel from 2017, where he's ripping around roller coasters that have people on them. So he's like chasing the car full of people and like those big drop rides. Nice. He's like diving with it and shit. Like and flying around inside grocery stores and it's pretty sweet. Yeah.
You got another one. I think you made $6 whole tonight.
Now just imagine if I had taken my shirt off.
Oh man. Rolling around in the dough. Yeah, yes. Vic FPV, I really think he's because of the fact that he flies mode 3, his footage looks way different, and he's able to like mix pitch and roll a different way and do maneuvers that I haven't seen before.
Oh wait, you were talking about Vec?
No, not Vec, Vic. VIK.
Okay. Gotcha.
I wouldn't say Vec is underrated at all.
Yeah. Gapit's good. I like Gapit. Who else? No porn music, no taking the clothes off. That's not happening. The make it rain button. Moke's bomb, but like he's been around forever. I don't think he's. Man, I don't know. I don't want to say he's not underrated. It's, dude. What the hell is going on with my soldering iron? Okay, I think it's trying to tell me something.
Gapit. Gapit's not very underrated, though.
Yeah, but that's like a funny thing that I feel like saying Moke is underrated. I like Moke. I think he's very good. And I don't think that he gets the views and stuff on his YouTube channel that he deserves. But like in the quad community, like he's well known. People know about him. I don't know. It like YouTube success is such a weird thing. You know what I mean? And in terms of like how many subs. Like, I think it's kind of crazy that I can do a live stream of me just sitting here building for 3 hours and talking to you guys, and there's still a couple hundred people in here right now. That's awesome. And I'm really happy that that's my reality. But I don't know if I was starting out now. I don't have like answers on how to make a successful YouTube channel. I don't even think that I'm really all that successful. It's not the sort of thing I can make a living off of. Wait, is this battery dead? Is that what's... Oh, I think I've fucking killed my battery. I think that's what the problem is. Dude, I've never done that before. Yeah, I fucking toasted a battery. That's hilarious.
What's it down to?
Oh my god. This battery dead. Like... Wait, where are we at? Look at that. 2.8 on 2 of the cells. 3.12. That's why my soldering iron keeps turning off. Dude. Okay. Well, on the bright side, it was like one of my oldest packs that I've got. Alright. Let me go get a new battery.
I flew a battery down to 6.9 this weekend at that race till it literally dropped out of the air, and that battery did not puff, and I recovered it.
Wow. I think this battery is probably recoverable. At just down to 12 volts, it'll probably come back up. But I don't think it had many more cycles left in it to begin with, so we'll see. Yeah, usually when I build, I do a lot more like plugging in and unplugging of my soldering iron, but tonight I've just like left it plugged in and powered on a lot more. Anyways, well. It is not one of the batteries from the experiment Good Vibes. I only had 2 of those left, and I just retired those like maybe a week or 2 ago. When do I determine when a battery has had enough battery? Once it starts to do some voltage sagging and causing me problems. But I've gotten into the habit. I didn't used to do this. I run a iCharger 406 Duo charger, which is a really baller charging setup. And whenever I go to charge packs now, before I put them on the parallel board, I go through and I measure internal resistance on every battery. And then once they hit... So for me, a typical fresh Venom pack is going to measure somewhere in the range of like 5 to 7 milliohms internal resistance per cell. And once I start having cells, I used to run them until the cells would have internal resistance up in the 20s. And like that's when you can really feel the sag, and you like come out of a dive and you're like, oh god, I don't know if I'm going to make it. But at 15, it's just starting to be noticeable. And being that I'm sponsored and I get enough batteries that I don't have to like struggle with that anymore, at 15 milliohm, I go ahead and start retiring them, just so that I don't ever break gear because a battery's not performing. But, you know, that being said, I just retired the 2 batteries from that test. So assuming that they don't get killed in a crash or something weird happened to them, which happened to 3/4 of the batteries in that test, they last me. That's like 8 or 9 months of like flying all day, every day. Well, not all day, every day, because I do work on average somewhere around 12 to 15 days a month. But pretty much all of those off days, I'm putting a cycle on the pack. So I want to talk to Venom about doing the XT60 Go adapters. Have you seen those?
No.
So it's like a new protocol for XT60 and batteries, and what it does is the basically there's a third pin inside of the XT60 adapter right here, and that third pin is for data, and the it'll keep track of the number of cycles that you've put on the battery. It'll keep track of the like how low you've run it. So if you're like, man, this battery's really sucking, you can go and plug it into a computer, and it'll be like, oh yeah, remember that one time you ran your battery down to 6 volts? This was that battery. And so it's pretty interesting. I'd like to see some more batteries start incorporating that. So Venom, get on it. Yeah, it's hard to complain about my work schedule. Honestly, I don't think that Bat Go or the XT60 Go is going to be that expensive. Like when you think about how simple of a chip that's going to be, it's going to be like a minuscule amount of memory and voltage monitoring built into the built-in. It's going to be like a 20-cent chip. I don't think it'll be that expensive for manufacturers. But yeah, you are right. The ISDT, it's something that actually ISDT worked on creating the standard for.
Yeah, I think ISDT is coming out with some really good stuff. Really decent prices too.
Yeah. It honestly, I love my iCharger 406 Duo, and I'm glad that I have it. But even having it and having used it for as long as I have, if I was new to the hobby and know what I know now and had access to the stuff, because when I got the iCharger, ISDT wasn't a thing. I would just get several of the little, man, I can't remember which model it is, but I have one, and I plug it in with my power supply with the iCharger, and I'm gonna get a second one so that when I travel, because I don't take the iCharger with me when I travel now that I got the ISDT, I'm gonna get a second one so that I basically have 2 charging channels on the road, and then 4 channels when I'm home. And yeah, I would totally just get the ISDT chargers now if I was starting out. So, iCharger never gave me anything. I'm not sponsored by them. They make a badass product, but it's kind of overpriced for the performance these days. Yeah. Deep V's for the win. I don't do deep V's. Ugh. Oh man, I can see like, yeah, the Q6, that's what I've got. That's the one that I've got. Yeah, these big wires, the silicone's so thick it's hard to just pinch and pull. Yeah, I've seen the barcode system, and there's another company that makes a RFID sticker system, But all of those, okay, the two systems that I've seen also, because they integrate with like the charger, require you to charge one battery at a time, which I can't do that. That's just too much. I need to parallel charge.
Have you been able to set up telemetry like milliamp hour volts with the Crossfire and the new Crossfire protocol? What do you mean? I mean, that's as long as you're using Betaflight OSD,
I do.
it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah.
This quad, when it comes to you, will have telemetry to your radio through Crossfire.
Sweet.
Yeah. Where's the question? Is there anything more specific?
It was just, have you been able to set up telemetry like milliamp hour volts with Crossfire and the new Crossfire protocol?
Yeah. Yeah, it works great. You just have to so the trick is it took me a second to figure it out too, because with like the FR Sky, you had to go into the what's the second tab on Betaflight? I can't think of it. It's
The configure,
the ports
no.
tab.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you have to go to the ports tab and tell it that you have telemetry on such and such port, right? Whereas, and so you could plug in the receiver input on one port, on one UART in, and then plug in the telemetry out on a different UART out. It doesn't work that way with the CRSF protocol. What you have to do is you have to pick a UART that you have access to both the in and the out, and you plug the you plug in the Crossfire receiver both to that one port, and then when you tell Betaflight that you're using CRSF on, say, UART2, for instance, just picking one at random, then it will automatically output the telemetry in CRSF format on the TX pin for UART2. So you just have to make sure that you're on the same UART, TX and RX, with the right things. And then it works great. Boom.
What is it? The TX100, that soldering iron?
Yeah, TS1000, I think.
Oh, TS. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. It's on Rotor-Riot. It's on like.
Yeah, it's a solid soldering iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, TS100.
Oh, it's a TS100.
Yeah.
I thought I had the 1000. I just got downgraded.
Is there a 1000? I don't even know if there's a 1000.
Ow. Dude. All right, we're going to have to do at least a magic smoke test tonight.
Shrink wrap, they say.
Yeah, I know. I gotta trim. I gotta trim stuff first. Trim and tin and.
Yeah, Nasty. What are the specs on those motors that you're flying on your 6-inch? Give me some stator sizes.
I'm going to show you my boom stopper, my smoke stopper. I'm going to show you all the smoke stopper you ever need. Ugh. Ugh. What's up? What up, nerds?
Yeah, what up, nerds? Fortunately, it's raining tomorrow, so I don't think I'm going to be doing much of any flying. Yep.
Boom. Okay, I'm done with the soldering for now.
The specs I was talking about was the motor sizes for your 6-inch. I mean, all you fly is 6 inches, right? Go nasty. I have seen footage from people flying in the rain, and
I made a whole video of that.
Yeah.
Go look at how waterproof is your quad and waterproofing your quad. I made multiple videos of that.
Yeah, 2.0 and 3.0 and...
Yeah, and I've seen many other people rip in the rain too. It's a thing. It's fun. It's cool. There's not... My favorite thing about flying in the rain... You know, I'm going like full on, bam, look. My favorite thing about flying in the rain is doing like dives. You like come up and you roll in, and then you can see the water drops. There's like this moment where the water's falling faster than you, and then all of a sudden the water's falling like the same speed as you, and you can see the drops. It's like Matrix vision, and then you end up speeding up faster than the water drops. But it's cool as hell for like that split second where it's like you and the water drops at the same speed. I love it.
How bad?
Oh, you're talking about putting your standing in the rain and flying? That sounds dumb. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. How bad does raindrops on your FPV camera screw it up? Like on the lens.
Not so bad that you can't fly. All right.
Okay.
Let's talk for a second about smoke stoppers. I know people love smoke stoppers. There it is. This right here is my smoke stopper. This multimeter. I used to do this like every single like solder joint. I would solder an ESC, and then I would do a continuity test. The continuity test, if you come down here, wait, let's go here. You got a setting that has a little speaker looking thing on it. It's hard to see. Wi-Fi speaker. Come on, focus. Yes. You see that? If you touch these two leads on your multimeter. Do you hear that? Let me put it by my mic. It's kind of weak.
You can hear.
Boom. Okay? If it shorts out, then you're going to get smoke. So you come here to your XT60. One on the ground. One on the positive. And you hear it beep a little bit. That's because you have capacitors on all those ESCs. If you don't have the ESCs soldered up, you won't get that. Now, if you switch polarity, you get a little short beep again. And it's gone. Switch again. There's a lot of capacitors on these ESCs because most of my builds do not beep that long.
That's I've noticed that with these as well. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, and then I was like, oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for a second that had me wondering. Okay, so but don't just check the XT60, the positive and ground, because you can also have shorts on other parts, like over here on the 5-volt regulator. So check your 5-volt to your ground rail. Nothing. Reverse it. Nothing. This one over here, because that's a different 5-volt. Nothing. All right, so we're not shorted out. I feel fairly confident that I can just plug in this battery and nothing's going to happen. And I'm going to be really upset if after making this whole big deal, I plug it in and this thing goes poof. It's going to be like, that's going to be the end of my live stream builds. I'm just going to be like, fuck it. I'm going back to making vlogs and shit. All right, here we go. Little, woo! That's bright. That's bright. And no finishing beat because I haven't programmed it with the protocol and all that. So I don't know what it's sending the ESCs. But it works. Nothing melted. Let's go. Let me go find a USB cable. And let's spin these up and make sure that motors spin. And then I'm going to be wrapping it up for the night.
Yeah, what gauge wire did you use on the power
Honestly,
leads?
For the XT60, I just used what came with that F4 board. That's 14 gauge on the XT60, and I think this is 16. Yeah, 16 on the ESCs. All right, 1 second. All right, let's plug this into the computer. All right, got that. Got this. Utensils.
10 gauge. You shouldn't use anything. I mean, it's not gonna make a big difference, but it's not like you're bottlenecking from your battery. Like, you don't need to use any gauge that's bigger than your battery wires. So
Yeah.
unless if your batteries have 10 gauge wire on it, then
Yeah, I think that's a ridiculous overkill level. All right, here we go. We're in here. You know what? Oh, dang. Okay. I'm going to... Let me see. I'm just playing around with my streaming software at this point, guys, just to be fair. And I have, let's see, Betaflight. We're creating a new scene. I'm going to add a source for the window capture. Beta. Where's it at? God, everything is in the way. I got a lamp between my screen and this thing. Wow, it is not called Betaflight. Let's try the different options here.
let me see.
Have you done this before?
Yeah, you can do window, and what are you using for the browser? Chrome?
Well, yeah, it's Chrome for Betaflight. Does
Um,
Chrome not play nice with the window feature on...
no, it should. If you do create new window, and then you just go to the window, it should be chrome.exe, and then it'll show like the whole...
Yeah, I don't have a Chrome one. I had a lot of different stuff. Oh well. Weird. Whatever. Back to this. Whatever. I'll figure that out before we do the full programming video. I just want to get this working for DShot 1200. Save and reboot that shit. Configuration. Let's go to the motors tab. Plug in. And see, we got like the full beeps. Boom. Alright, this one is going the wrong way. Right way. Wrong way. Right way. We'll worry about all of that later. I just wanted to make sure they're all spinning. And beautifully working. Yay, we're going to call that a success for tonight. We got ESCs and flight controller and motors wired together and the basis for the build. So at this point, man, wait, let's see where we're at here. Dude, it's still like 250 people. I'm shocked that we've it's been steady 250 to 300 people all freaking night long.
Yeah, pretty solid.
You guys are champs. I think you're bigger champs than me with my weak little back on this build. So I think I'm going to bail for tonight because I've been going for almost 3.5 hours, and I'm going to come back in whenever I get done flying tomorrow, because I am going flying tomorrow. I spent all day getting this whole workstation set up for a live stream and figuring out software and everything. Now that I've got all of the kinks worked out, I can just jump on here whenever I get home tomorrow night and finish off the build, because it's going to go really fast from here. Basically, we just have to solder up the connections for the camera, VTX, receiver, mount the camera, VTX, receiver, and antennas, and then do some tuning. And I think I'm probably going to throw on a... wait, what is ASL?
It's like an old chat room thing from the beginning days of chat rooms. It's age, sex, and location. Location.
Dude, I know you, Mike. You're not old enough to be throwing out old chat room things. But yeah, the next time it's going to be just a couple quick connections and putting the finishing touches on, which I have. I want to show you guys what I do for antenna mounting now with the Crossfire. You know what? For you, Chris, I think I'm just going to force you to take the stock antenna mount, and I'm going to put it on there, and you can mount I'm going to send you an Immortal T as well so that you can use that if that's what you really want to use. But I've been rocking this stock. Let me see if it's handy. Yeah, it is handy. Oh, and it's strapped to a bag still. I've been doing a bunch of testing with the stock Crossfire antenna, the tuned antenna, the stock receiver antenna, and the Immortal T antenna, and trying to figure out which ones I get the best reception and everything with. And I have found that this, with the stock antenna, I've got the main antenna going straight up and the ground plane coming out the back, and a little dab of hot glue there, because it looks, I know it doesn't look nice. It's not like the whole clean build philosophy, but if you mount it like that, then you have a little bit of an exposed section of ground plane, and I like to clean that up with or cover it with a piece of hot glue so that if you hit a stick just right, it doesn't break the ground plane section of the antenna. And I've found that I get the best signal to noise ratio off of that mounting system, regardless of which transmitter antenna I use and regardless of polarization. Personally, I think it's probably a minuscule improvement in terms of you're not going to fail safe more than likely because of it. But I like getting the best I possibly can. So, anyways.
No, do it up, I'd say.
Cool. Well, tune in tomorrow for the finale, guys. Thanks for coming, and click if you haven't subbed yet. If you haven't subbed yet and you're here watching a 3-hour-long live stream, I don't know what you're doing wrong. But anyways, come back, check out some more stuff. I've got some more videos that need some editing, and lots more flying to go. Yeah, I'm still sipping on the beer. It's 3 beers in 3 hours. You're still getting a clean build, Chris. All right, guys. Thanks for joining, and I am out.